All right, now we can get to the last part of this and we can get to some of other Bible scriptures and a little bit of revelation. So sorry to stray from the path, but yeah, it gets like that. We in Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 1. It says, "The word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against the Ammonites and prophesy among them, saying, Word up to the Ammonites." It says, "Hear the word of Yahweh, thus says Yahweh your God, because you said, Aha, against my sanctuary when it was profaned, and against the land of Israel when it was destroyed, when it was desolate, and against the house of Judah when they went into captivity." It says, "Indeed, therefore, I will deliver you as a possession to the men of the east, and they shall set their encampments among you, and make their dwellings among you. They shall eat your fruit, and they shall drink your milk. And I will make Rabbah a stable for camels, and Ammon a resting place for flocks." It says, "Then you shall know that I am Yahweh. For thus says Yahweh, because you clapped your hands, stomped your feet, and rejoiced in heart with all your disdain for the land of Israel." It says, "Indeed, therefore I will stretch out my hand against you and give you as plunder to the nations. I will cut you off from the peoples, and I will cause you to perish from the countries. I will destroy you, and you shall know that I am Yahweh." So in a way, before China was um, having, the whites on the forefront, they were a part of Africa, I do believe. The Ammonites. I do think that the Ammonites are Africa. Let me see. Yes, they are. They are Africa. Well, it's Asia. They are Africa, but we were under rule with them too. So yeah, I do believe they were a part of the Hamite family, most likely. It says, "For thus says Yahweh, because you clapped your hands and stomped your feet and rejoiced in the heart with all your disdain for the land of Israel. Indeed, therefore, I will stretch out my hand against you and give you as plunder to the nations. I will cut off from the peoples, and I will cause you to perish from the countries. I will destroy you, and you shall know that I am Yahweh." It says, "Thus says Yahweh, because Moab and Seir say, Look," and we know that Seir, now, okay, Moab is China, and we know that Seir is Esau. It says, "The house of Judah is like all the nations. Therefore, behold, I will clear the territory of the Moab cities, of the cities of its frontier, the glory of the country, Beth Jeshmoth and Baal, Meah and Kirjaim, to the men of the east. I will give it as a possession, together with the Ammonites, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among nations." It says, "And I will execute judgments upon Moab, that they shall know that I am Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh the Lord God, because what Edom did against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, has greatly offended by avenging itself on them," which is happening now. As you can see in the videos, it says, "Therefore, thus says Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand against Edom, cut off man and beast from it, and make it desolate from Teman. Dedan shall fall by the sword. Dedan," it says, "I will lay my vengeance on Edom by the hand of my people Israel," that which is going to happen. Civil war, race war, riots. It says, "According to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, because the Philistines dealt vengefully and took vengeance with a spiteful heart, to destroy because of the old hatred. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, I will stretch out my hand against the Philistines, and I will cut off the Cherethites and destroy the remnant of the seacoast. I will execute great vengeance on them with furious rebukes. It says, and they shall know that I am Yahweh when I lay my vengeance upon them. So we can go to, because they about to get these works. All these nations were listed as being against Israel and destroying them and laughing at their destruction as they were back then, so they are now. So, but they about to get that word. Oops. All right. We in Revelation chapter 9, 19 verse 1. It says, after these things I heard a loud voice of a great multitude in heaven saying, hallelujah, or alleluia, but it's hallelujah. Salvation and glory and honor and power belong to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the Lord our God, for the true righteousness are his judgments, because he has judged the great harlot who corrupted the earth with her fornication, and he has avenged on her the blood of his servants shed by her. Again they said, hallelujah. Her smoke rises up forever and ever. After the nuclear event, America will be the monument of destruction and a testament to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's wrath, and a symbolization of what not to do, because this nation sinned and in all things, so in the future, this will be desolate and uninhabited forever. So it says, and I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, as the sound of many waters, as the sound of mighty thundering, saying, hallelujah, 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 for Yahweh is omnipotent reigns. Let us be glad and rejoice and give him glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife has made herself ready. That's the elect, those of us hopeful elect that might end up going. It says, and to her was granted to be arrayed in fine linen and cleaned and bright. It says, let me see. Wait, I seen it way at the end of that video. It says, then he said, no, it says, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of his saints. Then he said to me, right, blessed are those who are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. It says, and we can just recap this, because I'm going to just go in from here on out. It says, and give it a moment. It should go. Oh, come on. This thing be tripping. Go back. Oh, that was weird. It's weird at times. It says, and it says, bright, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints. Then he said to me, right, blessed are those who are called to the marriage of the supper of the Lamb. And he said to me, these are the true sayings of Yahweh. It says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. But he said to me, see that you do not do that. I am your fellow servant, and I am your brethren who have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. It says, now I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him was faithful and true, and in righteousness he in righteousness he judges and makes war. His eye was like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no one knew except himself. It says, he was clothed with a robe dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Yahweh. and the armies in heaven, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. And these are all chariots, you know, the fathership and the angels, and, they were all ready for battle, per se. Now, out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should strike the nations, which is the word, which is the Bible, being and speaking of that, I can go to a video. We don't have to always recap on this one. I got some more time. I might just do a quick 30-minute again. And it's the truth. That's Great Millstone and a weird ass. I just used a video clip of, our people. Don't mind them. Because them niggas is looking like the Pharisees, and everybody's starting to hate them for how they push and how they carry themselves. So I just take their knowledge because they got good knowledge, but like they said, you can have a zeal for the Lord, but not according to knowledge. So it's best to be wary. If you need to decide to join a camp one day, be wary of certain prophets, because some prophets, they think too highly of themselves, and some prophets are wicked, and some of them are have attitudes. They're very mean, and I wouldn't advise joining any of the camps. I would just do your own. I would just say do your own thing. Sometimes being by yourself is the best thing. I mean, if you can join with some people, but in ancient times, the camps weren't segregated. No, there were no camps when it came to Yahushua. It was just the prophets, his followers. That was it. So I don't really believe in camps anymore, and no disrespect to them, but I'll just take their knowledge. Everybody think they the Pharisees anyway from the way they act. So I believe in a new covenant. I believe Yahweh Shem Yahushai, like the Lord say, lean not on your own understanding and lean not on men for understanding. You just take what you need, you spit out the bones. So where is that other one I was just looking for? Oops. Oh, sorry about that. Not what I'm looking for. No, Street Fighters, no. Where is it? Wait, I gotta go. I know exactly where to go to find it. Let me see. Oh, we can go to this. This one is like some shit.
Looking right at what you see now, do you want to take a solemn guess at what we have again here before you today in this video? These are the very authentic IDs of the paintings of the very people in the story of the good book, the Bible. Only a year ago, the global community ran agog with the buzzing news of certain posters, said to have been found in some secret vault which, it was said, had at last been opened to the world by the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. And, in these posters, were found black biblical Israelites and icons. For centuries, Western art has portrayed biblical figures as white Europeans, but ancient icons and artifacts stored in Russia's vault reveal a startling truth. Many biblical icons were, in fact, black. There are a whole load of them, hundreds and thousands of iconic paintings, some with familiar names that we know of in the scriptures, while there are also many others with names we do not even know, nor have we ever heard of. But the remarkable thing is, the saints in these paintings are all blacks. They are, and have always been, black people. By these revelations, it is finished. No more doubts on the identity of blacks in the world's biblical history any longer. Would you like to know why? Because these paintings are all Byzantine artwork.
And this is scary because this is what's scaring the Edomites, not just America, but worldwide, you know. So that's pretty much the purpose of World War III, is to not only destroy themselves, but to actually destroy the children of Israel. So, you know, right now we in the age of light and everything is coming out. And, you know, the tongue fall upon itself, you know, the devil's tongue fall upon itself. So Putin had revealed a lot of secrets because he heard about the Israelites down here in America, you know, the prophets that were preaching on the highways and byways, because they discovered the truth that's been hidden from them. And he supported them, you know. So, like I said, the serpent sent a flood after the woman in the book of Revelation, and the earth opened its mouth to block the flood, and to help the woman escape. Now, this earth opening up is a presentation of interpretation of the Bible proving itself to be a true book. Yahweh Shem Yahushai bringing out the oldest relics, and you know, our royalties, our gold, the priceless jewelry, you know, these beautiful images that tell you the truth and the true image of our people. Like it says, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, who covered the faces of the judges of thereof, where and not, and who is he? So we know that there was a huge transfer of white supremacy during the Renaissance period, when they painted over the judges, they painted over Yahweh, they painted over his son, and they made him white, you know, and they took the truth and made it into their own religion, and they made their own God out of it, which is a false God, and they pushed it on our people to worship their religion and do their ways, which is contrary to the Bible and to the laws and to Yahweh Shem Yahushai himself. So we can read some of Revelation again. It says in Revelation chapter 19, And I could start from verse 12. It says, his eyes were like a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written. It says that no one knew except himself. He was clothed with a robe dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Yahweh. And the armies in heaven, clothed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses, meaning that they were clean, that they were pure, that they were perfect and in order and in obedience with Yahweh. So it says, now, it says, and white and clean, and followed him on white horses. Now out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should strike the nations. So these nations are struck in a spirit because the word is coming through the prophets, and the world is responding to the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and opening itself and giving out all these different proofs, like the Decalogue stone, the lost Luna stone, the ruins of the Ark of the Covenant being found in Turkey, um, the icons in Russia, or what's another one? I forgot, but it's so many other different relics that are coming up that are being discovered that have the true name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, his true image, and his son and his angels and the chosen people. So a lot of this stuff is supporting our claim of who we are, and the world is angry at that. Though the elites are threatened by it. These devils are very afraid of it. They know that time is short, so why you think that World War III is sparking, and they showing signs of the times, because they need to bring in the mark of the beast. They need to cut off, the money, to stop us from our rise of power, doing anything to oppress us, which is causing those riots and causing great destruction and great confusion among our people and putting them in disarray. But, like it says, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to help us in those times, those of us that believe, per se. Everybody else that doesn't believe, that's among our people, will be left to their own beliefs, left to their own devices. They've already chosen their paths. Like it says, to the death, to death, to the no, to the famine, to the famine, to the sword, to the sword, to the pestilence, to the pestilence. So, wherever you've already picked what you believe in. So we're going to leave you at that, because it's going to be a time to where the word of Yahweh is going to be so intense, with the famine of the word and his promises of his wrath coming down. It's going to be so heavy to the point to where our people is going to acknowledge his name, and they're going to search for his prophets, but they're not going to find them, they're not going to find them. Some of them probably don't even know the name, but they're going to search for the prophets in hopes to be saved. But they're not going to find the prophets, nor they going to find the people, the believers, because, the prophets are the elect, whoever they may be. We don't know that. We don't know who they are, but we know that they are among the Israelites that are woken up, and then we got the 1/3, which are part of the salvation as well, but the elect is the ones that's going to get the spiritual power and guide us to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So whoever they may be, they are aware of who they are, and they are among us out there preaching on the highways and the byways, out there trying to get people to our people to come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And like it says, wait, let me get that too. That's why it's good to have technology at the palm of your hands. Let me see. Come on, this internet sucks right now. What's going on? It's been like this for like an hour or two. This is Hebrews 13 and 12. It says, do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels. Wait, King James. It says, be not forgeful to entertainers. It says, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares, in the King James Bible. So that right there, you got to be careful, how you talk to the Israelites. You got to be careful. An angel can be, the homeless Israelite on the street that's asking for money to test you, to see where your heart at, or the angels on the highways and byways that's preaching the word to see if you'll listen. And you got some angels that'll come by and they'll just talk to you to see where your head is at. So be careful of the angels that are among Israel, because you don't know if they are angels or not, and Yahweh send them among you to see where your heart is at, to see where your mind is at, and little do you know, you're actually being judged in the midst of the court by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So you got the left hand, you got the right hand, you got Yahweh Shai, then you have Satan, so these angels, which is the chief angel, which is Yahweh Shai, is on the right hand. You got Satan on the left hand. So you got all the angels on the right hand, and you got all the angels and the demons on the left that is going to bat to see if you deserve to be saved or not. And at the end of the day, Yahweh Hashem Shai needs no counsel. He will decide for himself whether you deserve to be saved or not. And that is true. The Lord don't need no counsel. I need to eat something real quick. But he does have one. And whether the children of Israel know it or not, they are in the midst of judgment, and their souls are being judged as we speak. Some of them for salvation, some of them for destruction, So when you think about that, just be mindful. You see the Israelites that's preaching on the streets, listen to them. You see a random Israelite on the corner, whether some of them be by themselves, get the word out of him. Listen to him. He got something to give you. Just be spiritually aware of these things, because these are the times that we living in, and like it says, behold, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai has eyes upon every place, beholding good and evil, so he's always watching, always. So we can continue from, let me get these other scriptures. We can continue with the video. It says, now out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, which is this word, which you see on this video. It says, and this was posted 20 hours ago. So you got to understand and see how fast the word is spreading out and how serious it's getting. So it says, now out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should strike the nations, and he himself will rule them with a rod of iron. He himself treads the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of Almighty Yahweh, and he has on his robe and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. It says, then I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying, to all the birds that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather together for the supper of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So those birds are the chariots and the spacecrafts that people are seeing by the droves, and they no longer a mystery. They don't appear here and there. They actually a part of daily life. They actually the norm. Seeing what you call UFOs and what you call APUs are normal nowadays. But they are terrifying when you come upon them. They are very mysterious when you see them, but it's not anything new. It says, gather together for the supper of the great Yahweh. And when it says that, it's gathering up the elect, and those ships is going to go get the chosen before these nuclear bombs come and destroy America. And this is finished. It says that you may eat the flesh of the kings, the flesh of captains, the flesh of the mighty men, the flesh of the horses and those who sit on them, and the flesh of all people, free, slave, and both small and great. That's right. So, and they gonna after the elect has left the planet, they're gonna let it rip with all the destruction. And I'm trying to tell you, you think that the artillery that is designed for World War III and nuclear equipment and the weaponries that these nations have are terrifying? You haven't seen the weaponry that these angels have. You haven't seen the equipment and and their bombs that they're going to use during World War III, and more hell is going to come upon this earth. Nothing that you've ever seen before. It was a speech that I was listening to, short speech by Donald Trump on behalf of World War III, and like he said, you think that World War I and World War II was terrible? No, World War III is going to be horrifying on biblical proportions. It's going to tear you in the mind, the body, and the spirit. You're not going to know how to handle it. You're not going to know what to do. You're going to be so afraid. Like I said, some people going to die on the spot. Some people going to commit suicide. Some of them going to be humble. Some going to fall to the ground and cry to Yahweh Shem Shai. Some people is just going to be like, damn, they was right the whole time. It's going to make them, some people going to be angry and fight against the Lord. It's going to get real heavy. So it says, and I saw the beasts, the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him who sat on the horse and against his army. So it's coming, see? Because they're going to go against Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the angels that are in heaven, and then the fact that they all black is going to make Esau so mad that they going to stop fighting each other, and they going to aim their nukes at Yahweh Shem Yahushai, son Yahushai, and the angels. And like I said, the angels is going to take they're going to take the Israelites that believe and leave the rest of them to be destroyed. And when they see them, and these angels gonna come off these chariots when they step down, and like the book of Ezekiel say, they gigantic compared to our normal size. These angels are gigantic and terrifying. They are terrifying, bro. Nothing that you've ever seen before will compare you to how terrifying these angels will appear to you. So, and they gonna rip, they gonna wreak havoc, great destruction, and it'll be lakes and lakes of blood and lakes of people. The streets gonna run red. You gonna see rivers of blood everywhere, nigga. The sewers, the fucking streets, the corners, raining blood. I'm trying to tell you how nightmarish this shit is gonna get. It's gonna seem like a fucking evil, a bad dream, a nightmare. But this is the reality that we live in. So people tend to forget the supernatural is real. They tend to forget about Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they tend to forget that these Bible stories, and these legends about what the Lord do to these cities and how he destroyed them and what he do to these people after Israel leaves is just unprecedented. It's just horrible, bro. Horrible. That he's the boogeyman in the story that they talk about. These are these bedtime stories that people tell their children before they go to bed, bro. You got people like that read the Bible and tell their children these bedtime stories. Scare the shit out of you, man. So to keep that shit in mind, that this shit is all true. So I'm gonna get this and continue the video. It says, then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet. It says, he who works signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped his image. These two were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone, and the rest were killed with the sword which proceeded from the mouth of him who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. That's right. So them angels gonna tear you apart. And Yahweh Shem Shai, his word is gonna come to pass. Everything that he said that he was gonna do is gonna be promised, because Yahweh Shai, his son, is gonna carry it out, and the angels is gonna help him. It says, these two were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. It says, and the rest were killed with the sword which proceeded out of the mouth of him who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. He gave the word to destroy them, and the angels did. And all he had to do was speak. It says, then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. So this already happened. And we were in rule in the dark ages. We were in rule for 1,000 years. And when 1,000 years came to an end, according to prophecy, we went off. We left the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So the Lord had it to where we were, the collapse came. You know, we were thrown into chains after we were attacked and destroyed and overthrown, and we went into slavery, and they took over. It says, and he cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and sealed up and set a seal on him so that he should not deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things, he must be released for a little while. Even though a little while was over more than 1,000 years, but in the eyes of Yahweh, one day is 1,000 years, and an hour is 72 years. So it wasn't that long, but long enough because we mortals, we in this mortal flesh. So we have to die, come back, die, come back, die, suffer our punishment, suffer our punishment, and earth is hell on earth, so when they set that seal on him, chased him into the bottomless pit of what today you call Russia. First it was the Caucasus Mountains or Petra, and then it was Russia up to the coldest parts, the most desolate part of the world. This is where Esau came from, and they kept him there, So there it is. That's the origin, you know. It says, and drove, not only drove him into, like it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up. So they put this beast, this monster, into the interior of the earth. He was underground in the earth. And the Bible does state that there's people in heaven, there's people on earth, and there's people underneath the earth. And this was also he is mentioned to be those people that dwelled in the cracks and the crags in the interior of the earth. No light, darkness, barely scarcity of the food, you know, and the way they lived was terrible. If you understand, if I know y'all be looking at them people who explore them caves and shit, and white people that do that shit, they don't know that's a part of their ancestry's blood to do shit like that, because they used to live there. You don't see no black man cave dwelling and shit under the creeks and under the crags in the interior of the earth where there is no light. It's desolation. Nothing grows there. There's barely any food there. You survive how you survive. You can't come up to the surface. And when you do, you're blind. You're invulnerable to the fucking light. And on top of that, when the sun hits your skin, it burns you. So, because in Russia, they in deep snow nearly 24/7 of the year, man. They in deep snow. So that right there, but this is right here is proof of the Renaissance before the Renaissance. This is what it was. This was the truth.
Now, let's get you enlightened on why you must take any art called Byzantine very seriously. If you've witnessed the enticing classic ornaments and decorations in Christian churches around the world, those are perhaps the legacy of Byzantine art. Cities like Ravenna, Italy, Kiev, Ukraine, or Novgorod and Moscow, Russia, are the epicenters of artworks that were produced during the Byzantine era. Artworks that had significant influence on Christianity. But what is Byzantine art, and what are its distinctive features? First off, the arts of the Byzantine era correspond to the dates of the empire, which spanned more than a millennium. The Byzantine Empire was the Eastern Roman Empire under Christian rule that thrived in the Middle Ages, from 330 AD until the fall of Rome, when the capital Constantinople, present-day Istanbul, fell to the Ottoman Turks in 1453. This Eastern Roman Empire, unlike the Western half that was ruled from Rome, was a peaceful region that maintained religious, secular, and artistic values. Thousands of painters and craftsmen went to Byzantium to get away from the barbarian Dark Ages in Rome back then. These artists created Byzantine art as the new style of Eastern Christian images and icons, which ultimately flourished into Orthodox Christianity. Because Byzantine art spans over a significant amount of time, it can be divided into three periods: early Byzantine, 330 to 750, middle Byzantine, 850 to 1204, and late Byzantine, 1261 to 1453. Generally,
Sorry
the
about that.
characteristics of Byzantine art were almost completely in tune with the religious realm, particularly about the transcendence of the Orthodox Church under the Byzantine Empire into artistic forms. Similar to the way of Greek predecessors, Byzantine art has never forgotten its cultural roots and heritage, which originated in Greek culture after being Christianized from the Eastern Roman Empire. This is why artworks from this era continue to resemble their origins. So, just know this. Any old painting, you are told is originally Byzantine, reflects the exact image of what has been painted. So, just know this. Any old painting, you are told is originally
Ooh, that one is deep right there. That look at Moses. Wow, that shit deep right there, man. I just wanted to pause on that.
Byzantine, reflects the exact image of what has been painted. Because in Byzantine art, there are no alterations. It is an artistic preservation of history, just the way that history is. This isn't the first time, however, that these icons would surface in the public eye. The first time they were displayed by the Russian Federation was no less than 15 years ago in Moscow.
Icons dating back to the 14th century brought together from private collections across Russia.
It's very beautiful. It gives you goose pimples. It's a remarkable exhibition.
It's an exhibition which feeds the senses. Everything is so grey outside at the moment, and here suddenly it's a feast for the eyes.
And it's a feast that marks 100 years since religious icons started to be recognized as works of art. Before then, they were mainly viewed as religious objects, often left blackened over the centuries by the passage of time and added layers of paint. Religious icons started to be recognized as works of art. Before then, they were mainly viewed as religious objects, often left blackened over the centuries by the passage of time and added layers of paint.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered...
And just wait there a minute, viewers. Did you hear that? Let's go at it again for a second, shall we?
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered...
Did you hear that again now? When we learned how to remove the dark layers, the lady just said. For those of you who might not have heard the first rewind clearly, let's go over this again for the final time.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered...
Yes, that's the part. The images were whitewashed, and then the other old paintings were hidden in vaults all over Europe and Russia.
When we learned how to remove the dark layers, we discovered an overwhelming beauty, to such an extent that it shocked André Matisse, who was in Moscow at the time. He said, it's here that artists should come to learn to paint, not to Italy.
But today, only a small number of these masterpieces remain. Most were destroyed during the Soviet era.
These icons are the survivors. If museums hadn't saved them, they wouldn't exist today. There are 50,000 icons in Russian museums. Before, there were millions.
Because they tried to destroy the true image of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the true image of the Lord. And to that is very disrespectful, but this is what happened. But Yahweh did allow a lot of this to survive because that the art itself and the treasures had a role to play. And like Yahweh Shem Yahushai said, the children of Israel shall leave Babylon with great possessions, bro. And they gonna get back everything that we lost, you know. So we can get a couple of more scriptures and then I'm gonna close out. Had to go in on this one. And it says, and I saw, we on chapter 20 of Revelation, verse 1. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat on them, and judgment was committed to them. Then I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for their witness to Yahushai, and for the word of Yahweh, who had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had not received his mark on their foreheads or on their hands. It says, they lived and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. It says, but the rest of the dead did not live again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. That's true. Because the chosen gonna be here. But the ones that don't believe, which are the 2/3, they gonna die here. And it's gonna take time. But like they said, when Esau is in slavery and they rebuilding the world that they destroyed, they are gonna help. No, we are gonna help breed back, and we're gonna be born through the elect, through the chosen of Israel, which gonna be the new kings of the world and kings of the universe, and we will be born through them, and we gonna be perfect, through them, and we not gonna go off no more. We'll be perfect. It says, "Blessed and holy he who has part in the first resurrection." Though it says, "Over such the second death has no power, but they shall be priests in of Yahweh and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years." Now, when 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison. Oh no, this already happened. This part already happened, and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, whose number is in the sand of the sea. It says, it says, yeah, the number of the sand of the sea is the Israelites. Because soon we gonna get into a race war and a civil war, and we gonna go against the whites. It says they went up on the breadth of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints and the beloved city, and fire came down from Yahweh out of heaven and devoured them. It says, the devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. That's the nuclear day. The beast and the false prophet. It says, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever, which is true, because they corpses of the Edomites gonna lie in the streets. For those of us that are not chosen, even our corpses is going to be lying in the streets. They're going to look like the sculptures that they found in Sodom and Gomorrah, sculptures of brimstone and sculptures of dead people, people filled dead bodies that were burned as where they stood at, and they petrified like that, and they remained that way forever. And the beast and the false prophets and all of them, they're going to look like that forever. So if we were ever to go to America when the world is reborn, we will see the example and the results of the World War III, the nuclear event still there, and it's going to be like that forever. And it's going to scare the shit out of the nations, and they ain't going to want to go off because they ain't going to want to end up like America. So it says, then I saw a great white throne, and him who sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was no place found for them. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, standing before Yahweh, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged according to their works, by the things which are written in the books. Right, the Lord is still going to have them in judgment and question them for what they've done. It says, in the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged according to their works. So the book of life is the ones that were last but were called first this time, which are the elect. And in the book, and then you got the dead, which will be judged according to their works because they didn't believe. But the Israelites of a whole will get their inheritance, but they will be judged good and evil. But you got the book of life, which is different, but the book of the dead people gonna be judged how the Lord judge them. It says, by the things which were written in the books, the sea gave up the dead who were in it, and death and Hades delivered up the dead who were in them, and they were judged, each one according to his works. Right. So because they died here in the lake of fire, and their souls went up to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Simple as that. They died on the earth, and they were being judged in heaven. And that's it. It says, and anyone not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Now that part is true. So it goes back to the World War III in the day of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, when all those people died that didn't get saved. So we can go back. And then I'm going to close out now. It's time. It says chapter 17 of Revelations, verse 1. Chapter 16, verse 1. It says, It says, Then I heard a loud voice from the temple saying to the seven angels, Go and pour out the bowls of wrath of Yahweh on the earth. So the first went and poured his bowl upon the earth, and a foul and loathsome sword came upon the men who had the mark of the beast and those who worshipped his image. Then the second angel poured out his bowl on the sea, and it became blood as of a dead man, and every living creature died in the sea. It says, Then the third angel overpoured his bowl over the rivers and springs of water, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the water saying, and this is a lot of people dying that took that mark. Even the animals are going to die. So it says, You are righteous, O Yahweh, the one who is and who was and who is to be, because you have judged these things. It says, For they have shed the blood of the saints and the prophets. Right, because the ones who get the mark of the beast are labeled traitors. And you have given them blood to drink, for there it is their just due. Right. So it says, And I heard another from the altar of Yahweh saying, Even so, O Yahweh, almighty and true and righteous are your judgments. Then the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and power was given to him to scorch men with fire. It says, And men were scorched with heat, and they blasphemed the name of Yahweh, who had power over these plagues, and they did not repent and give him glory. And that goes into the summers getting hotter, because the summers are getting fucking hot, bro. And that sun be getting hot, man. You know how many people, and you know how many, they don't really talk about it, but it's a lot of people that passed away, and a lot of elderly people that passed away during the summer this year, from great heat, So that right there, and then it can go into the nuclear day too, again. And then the fifth angel poured out his bowl on the throne of the beast, and his kingdom became full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues because of the pain, right? Because it's getting to those times to where it's going to be cloudy as fuck. It's going to be black as fuck. Like it said, the day of the Lord is going to be darkness. It's not going to be no light. So it says, they blaspheme the name of Yahweh Yahweh of heaven, because their pains and their sores, and did not repent of their deeds. The sixth angel poured his bowl out on the great river Euphrates, and the water was dried up, which had already happened now. So that the way of the kings from the east might be prepared, which is true. And I saw three unclean frogs coming out of the mouth of the dragon. It says, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. I think two of them was Rome, Britain, and I forgot the other third one. It says, for they are the spirits. It says, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of demons, performing signs which go out to the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of Yahweh Shem Yahushai Almighty. It says, behold, I am coming as a thief. Blessed is he who watches and keeps his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. And they gathered them together to the place called in Hebrew Armageddon. Then the seventh angel poured out the bowl in the air, and that's World War III, and the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of slaughter. So it says, then the seventh angel poured out his bowl in the air, and a loud voice came out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, it is done. It says, and there were noises, thunderings, lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as a mighty and great earthquake had not occurred since men were on the earth. That is true. It says that the great earthquake is coming, and that could signify a literal gigantic earthquake, and the nuclear event is going to cause a fat ass earthquake. So either or, it says, now the great city was divided into three parts, and the cities of the nations fell. Okay, this is the nuclear event. It says, and great Babylon was remembered before Yahweh to give her the cup of wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Then every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. That's how heavy the nuclear bombs is. They're going to break this continent into segments, bro. That's how powerful these bombs are. And, all the nations, every nation that got nuclear bombs is going to let America have it, bro. So they going to get hit, but America going to get hit hard as fuck, like hard. So it says, And it says that every island fled away, and the mountains were not found, and great hail from heaven fell upon men, and each hailstone was about the weight of a talent. Men blasphemed Yahweh because of the plague of hail, since the plague was exceedingly great. And I'm going to stop right there. Call on Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. I got to cut this off before it cuts me off. Much love to you guys that were listening to all of my little videos. And yeah, I'll be on the highways and byways tomorrow. And it'll be more to come, as more as we can give you, for time is short. And I'm doing my own part. And it's on to the next video. See you later.